This is an after-school program podcast.
Welcome to the Home Studio Hangout podcast, where we explore what it's like building, running, and working out of a home studio with your hosts, Joshua Matotek, Andrew Simmons, and many guests in different areas of the music industry.
And welcome back to episode 7 of the Home Studio Hangout podcast. Today, me and Josh go through a ton of free things for you. This will be free plugins, free software, free information, free courses, different free things like that for you to help grow, whether you're a songwriter, you want to get better at producing, you want to up your mixing game a little bit. All of these things will help you just get better, guaranteed. These are some of the best free resources for you on the internet. Check it out. And welcome back to the podcast, Home Studio Hangout podcast, with your boys, Josh, and myself, Drew. How's it going, Josh?
Hey, it's going, dude. This is our third episode in one day.
I know. We out here.
They don't know that, though. This is going to be spread out over months, dude. You're going to hear this in 2025 and be like, what? They recorded that in 2021? Yeah. That's how far into this we are, man.
No, we were talking about, I saw some posts the other day, people sharing some free stuff, and I was like, oh, you know what? There is a lot of really good information. You know, I was listening to Donald Miller's podcast talking about, like, is school worth it for business people? And there's a couple other podcasts and things like that have kind of talked about, you know, is school worth it? And most people are saying there's just so much good free information out there nowadays that it's becoming less necessary. And you know what? In the music industry especially, there's a lot of really good info for free. Like,
yeah, there is
a ton of really good info for free, and not even just like learning stuff. There's a lot of really good free products out there that are amazing. So we wanted to take some time to highlight some of that free stuff and kind of tell you where to go to get some, you know, free. I think we're going to split it up into three different places. We're going to split it up into plugins and samples. It was going to be one thing. Music creation tools, if you will. We're going to split it into podcasts. And we're going to split it into the third category is YouTube videos. Free video-based content. So, Josh, why don't you start us off? The first one. First section, plugins. Or samples or music creation tools for free.
Oh, you know what we didn't? This just hit me. Number 1, Reaper.
There you go.
Well, technically it's not free, but if you don't know what DAW to start with and you kind of want to just try something without being super invested into it, try out Reaper. It's open source. It's super stable. You could literally run this software off of a flash drive. I would use it all the time whenever I'd play shows to run my backtracks because I knew it wouldn't crash. I used it for a while doing the podcast too, and then I don't think I have it on this computer right now. But Reaper's dope for that reason. It's super lightweight, and then if you decide that you want to purchase the license, it's $60 for a non-commercial license. My second piece of free software is going to be Spitfire Audio Labs. Each month they release a new sample pack. Well, not a sample pack.
It's kind of an instrument.
Yeah, it's an instrument. So It's a Labs virtual instrument, and then they make different things. Whether they're piano sounds, like B-roll sounds from like a London subway. They have different like strings, horns, synths,
Some choirs that are really
percussion,
good.
choirs. They have all kinds of stuff. It's really dope. It's free. It sounds really good, and their paid stuff is even better.
And honestly, it's some of the best free things I have ever heard in my entire life. They are so well sampled. Woo! Yawn it out, Josh. Yawn it out,
That was a big
Josh.
yawn.
That was a big yawn. But Spitfire Audio Labs has some of my favorite. Actually, has a piano called Soft Piano that I use on almost every single project.
Yeah, soft piano is sick.
Not even joking.
I have to reformat my hard drives right now, and I can't use Labs, and it makes me sad because I never realized how much I use soft piano until I didn't have
Dude,
it.
I love it so much. It's a great layering tool. I use it for lo-fi music. It's my main piano for lo-fi music. It's just so good. I want to take a step over from Spitfire Audio Labs and go to iZotope. iZotope has some really cool free software. They have the iZotope Doubler. Staying with the theme of lo-fi music, they have one called iZotope Vinyl that they just recently upgraded, and it's also free. It is a great tool for adding like that natural warble to your pianos or vocals or some cool drum things. Add some grit, some cool textures, and there's also iZotope Imager, which is out of the Ozone. It's the Ozone Imager, but it's a standalone version of the Ozone Imager. And it kind of helps you. I use it a lot if a band sends me like a synth, but it's mono, and I need to widen it and make it stereo. I use that. It's so useful. All of those tools are extremely, extremely useful. Like I said, 100% free. My next one would be, I'm going to slide over to Native Instruments. And honestly, if you just go to nativeinstruments.com, they have a free section. They have a free section on their website, nativeinstruments.com, and you go to the free section and under products, there is, such good stuff. They just actually dropped, it's called, that sound, that Chinese hammer dulcimer sound. They dropped a free plugin of that's really cool. A lot of people are using those to double with pianos and things, or they just sound really cool if you're making like sync music for like that pitch or other sync licensing places. But also the main one I want to highlight is called Complete Start, and it is, if you're trying to make synthwave, it's like one of the only things you're going to need to make synthwave music. It comes with samples, it comes with basses, it comes with synths, it comes with leads, like everything you could possibly want to make synthwave music and some pop music as well. It comes with some great, great stuff. There's a bunch of other things there. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's a lot of free things over at nativeinstruments.com. Josh, your next two.
My next two. This one has been used for years, and when I got a new computer, I forgot to install it again, and I just remembered it 5 minutes ago while he was talking, and I'm about to download it once we get done here. It's the Soft Tube Saturation Knob. One of the best saturation plugins. It's literally just one knob that you turn. It sounds so good, and that is 100% free. SoftTube is just killing the game right now, and they have a whole bunch of stuff that I want, but I probably don't need, so I haven't bought it yet, but yeah, no. My next one is going to be Vital, the synthesizer. Mm-hmm. It's incredible.
Especially for a free.
It's free, and it might be better than Serum.
That's saying something. Which is
It's really saying something.
$180 cent?
Something like that.
Something like that? Yeah.
Something like that. That costs serum costs as much as some people's DAWs. So
Yeah.
like, you know, being able to get something with the same capabilities for free is unreal. UI is super clean, really easygoing. It does not work at all in Cubase for some reason, at least for me. There's something wrong with it, so I might have to uninstall and reinstall, but it works flawlessly in Ableton. I haven't heard anybody else on Cubase complain about it though. But yeah, 100% free, and it's definitely my favorite free synthesizer.
Cool. My next two want to shout out, and this is like a specific thing. So, Sound Toys does not necessarily have anything free all of the time, but I highly suggest going to Sound Toys and signing up for their newsletter because they will give away free stuff all of the time.
Yeah, so I was a Sound Toys, like I've had Sound Toys for 6 years now, like the full bundle. And then at one point they made Little Plate free and I missed it, and I checked my licenses and there was Little Plate just waiting for me in there.
Yep. They're
Free.
really good about that kind of stuff.
They're a dope company. They make great plugins and they treat people really well.
So I got Little Plate for free. I got I got Tremolator for free.
Yeah.
And I got Echo Boy Jr. for free.
Yeah.
So I got those 3 plugins for free, and they do a really good job of discounting your prices for other plugins whenever you already have something of theirs.
Yeah,
so,
real quick, anybody who's a student, go buy the Sound Toys bundle right now. It's like half off if you're a student. It's $250.
Yeah, their stuff, and that also works with the Isotope stuff as well. Because if you get their free stuff and you get Sound Toys free stuff, whenever they happen to be giving stuff away sometimes, it will make other purchases cheaper for you whenever you're looking to upgrade or buy something else from those same exact companies.
Did you mention that Fabfilter does the same thing?
Do they do free stuff?
They don't do free stuff, but they discount it.
They do discount, but I'm talking about free stuff.
Yeah, because I bought like their mixing and mastering bundle, it's just their mastering bundle. It's the comp, multiband, EQ, and limiter. Because I bought that, I get like 40% off other plugins or something like that.
Gotcha.
It's pretty cool.
So here's a wild one. This is a deep pull that I don't know if you even know about. If you go to, this is a government run website. It is the Library of Congress released a bunch of samples for remixing. So if you go to citizen-dash-dj.labs.loc.gov, and it will take you to a place called Citizen DJ. There are a bunch of free samples of old music, old speaking, old spoken word, old interviews, old random music that if you're a lo-fi person or somebody that does a lot of sampling based music, you can go download thousands, and I mean thousands of free things there that you can chop up and use and manipulate, and it's super cool. Old radio conversations, random little found sounds, screening room of government film music and spoken word of over 10,000 recordings. Like, it's that are free, that are public domain. They're all public domain. So, yeah, it's that was a wild one.
That's really cool. So I am all out of free plugins already.
So I have one more. I have a big list. There's a lander list that I'm going to drop in the description of the show. hopefully by the time that this episode is out, we'll have website with show notes and everything. But the on the YouTube version of this, it'll be linked and everything. But there is a Lander dropped a list of 200 free plugins. They don't all necessarily work with Mac. Some are Mac only, some are PC only, some are 64-bit only, some are 32-bit and 64-bit. But they are all free. And it's really cool. There's a bunch of great stuff in there for... I mean, I found some synths in there that I use all the time.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
I just realized that you changed your hat in between episodes.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
First and the second
one. That's very dope.
Yeah,
that's very dope.
200 free plugins. So I'll drop links. All of those links will be in the description, and links for everything that we talk about will be in the description. So it'll be easy for you guys to find it. Hopefully the website will be up and ready to go. If it's not, you can always find this on YouTube, and all the links will be there.
Yeah.
Cool.
So moving forward
to the podcasting section.
Well, also this has a few other things in here because I like articles a lot.
Yeah, so that's fine. You can consider that. Yeah.
First one is going to be Sound on Sound articles / interviews. They have a lot of great stuff on there. A lot of cool interviews. There's a massive Sound on Sound interview with Mike Crossy about recording the 1975 self-titled record. It literally will take you almost an hour to read the entire thing. That's how in-depth the interview is. And like he goes through entire signal chains. I'm going to walk away and turn this light on because it's dark in here.
Yeah, you're starting to dark out a little. There you go.
And he really goes into a lot, and I learned so much just about like tracking vocals and how like routing can really be the reason why a song has a vibe that it has. And that's just one instance from one interview. And then there's all kinds of cool stuff on there. They do great reviews for gear. So if you need advice on like what you should get or what to look out for, they're really good at reviews. Definitely appreciate the guys at Sound on Sound. My next one is actually...
Apparently somebody's here. 1 second.
Puppy.
Oh, it's Aaron. Can you handle them? Thank you.
Wrangle the dog.
Wrangle them dogs.
Second one is a little bit less known, I think, because people really don't go here to read. But Sweetwater, they have a lot of good articles and videos, and I highly recommend diving into those. They do like a 50 mic shootout on their website. Like, that's awesome. Like, nobody really has done that.
I've linked to that one in our microphones episode, but I'll relink to that one again in this one. It's really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
There was another website, since we're just doing kind of like websites. Hold on a second. Audio Test Kitchen is really cool.
Yeah.
So it is it's a website where, similar to the Sweetwater thing, where they compare a bunch of microphones and you kind of see the samples. Audio Test Kitchen it's got 300 microphones on similar sources raw.
Yeah, that one is. I remember going on there, and that definitely helped me figure out what I want.
And it shows you EQ curves, which is really cool. And you can compare all of you can stack the microphones that you're looking up, and like compare them all on different sources and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you have any more websites?
I do not think so.
I have one more, and it's Production Expert. So it's a bit tricky. It's Pro Tools Expert, so it's pro-tools-expert.com, and then their blog is called Production Expert. These guys are insane because they have free Pro Tools tutorials, free Studio One tutorials, free Logic tutorials. I think no, that's a different one. There's an entire Reaper blog where they outline switching from Pro Tools to Reaper. That's another one that you can Google. If you just Google Reaper blog, it'll pop up. But they do a bunch of cool walkthroughs for gear, plugins. They also have just like an entire free plugin list. I'm looking at it right now for Pro Tools, AU and VST, free synth plugins, free Logic Pro plugins. Speaking of free plugins, totally forgot to mention Slate Air, Fresh Air, that's what it's called. That is a fantastic vocal plugin if you just need to boost your high mids. Great plugin. And that's all I have for websites.
Podcasts. So we have a lot to say about this because we do a lot of podcast listening.
I don't.
I do.
I'm not even going to listen to our own podcast.
I mean, it's okay. I feel like...
Actually, you know what? Can I go first? Because I only listen to like one podcast anymore.
You listen to a couple.
And that is And the Writer Is.
Oh, yeah. You don't listen to Matt on podcast.
Oh, yeah. I typically just watch the Instagram so I could see their beautiful faces. Yep. But, yeah, so And the Writer Is with Ross Golan. We've talked about it a few times already. Mm-hmm. Probably my favorite podcast because they take all these people who are majorly successful and he gives them the floor to talk about where they came from and how they came up from there. And so, it's just really good. He's great at asking difficult questions.
Episodes of note for me on that are the John Bellion episode. That was a great episode.
That man really said, I stiff-armed my record label into the deal I wanted. And I was
right? Yeah, he came out swinging, bro. The Charlie Puth episode was really cool.
That was nuts. Benny Blanco's, both of his episodes were just like, wow.
Wild. The Meghan Trainor episode, I liked it way more than I thought I was going to. And it was a really interesting episode talking about, like, somebody knowing what they wanted, really going for it, and then getting it unexpected, like not getting it, getting shut down, and then getting a second chance of getting it unexpectedly.
Yeah, I like the Emily Warren one. Yes, I think that she did a follow-up for quarantine. Mm-hmm. Love the Ian Kirkpatrick one, Jason Evigan. There's just so much good on there. Plus, like, you learn about people that you really never even really heard of. I just said really so many times in like 3 seconds. But like I learned about a lot of new people that I just never knew existed because of that podcast. Like, highly recommended.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Plus the John Feldman episode, wildest stories in the world.
Yeah, that's a great one for some wild stories. So let's see. So that one, we have Live with Matt Rad, which is a podcast. It's also on Instagram Live. That's where they record him, and he has some guests, but it's generally John. What's John's last name? Castelli, yeah, who's a mix engineer. They talk a lot about mixing. They talk a lot about mindset behind dealing with labels and clients, and mindset behind mixing and production a little bit. But it's a really good one. John mixed recently the Kid Leroy record that just dropped that's blowing up right now. He mixed that one. That's one of his big albums of note. He's mixed the Khalid record, or the EP. Was it an EP? Or was it a record? It was his second record. He mixed the second record. He's mixed a couple other things.
All I know is that Kid Leroy record is just stupid.
Yeah, it's some heat.
So good. That's like probably my favorite record of last year.
And we've talked about Matt before, but Matt's a producer and songwriter, and he did some mixing too. But he's worked with Camila Cabello and
One Direction, BB Rexa, Denzel Curry.
Yeah, if they're big, he's probably rubbed shoulders with them in some form or fashion.
He's been doing it for. I mean, both those guys have been doing it for a while. Like they're
Yeah.
at that point now where it's like they're past that getting started phase, but that
Yeah.
they aren't at that like veteran level just yet.
Yeah,
So
they're
like,
not.
because like neither of them are even 40 yet. So it's like
No, and they're not like CLA.
right, but like they
level.
still know all these massive people.
Yeah.
So it's like really really cool.
And they
hearing them
both
talk.
do. Well, John does pop music mainly, and Matt works on a mixture of pop and rock music because he came up under Eric Valentine. But they still mainly both do pop.
He
music.
does a lot of hip hop too, from my understanding.
Yeah, which is
I don't
pretty
know.
cool.
He's not super like public about what he does.
No, but it's cool. You learn a lot. He does a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. He doesn't really talk about who he's working with as much as the mindset behind what they do when they do work, which I appreciate a lot.
Yeah.
We'll shout out Six Figure Home Studio for some business advice on getting started and maintaining some good business practices with having a home studio. They're great dudes. Brian, and I've had lunch with Brian, and Chris is really cool. Had some interactions with both of them online, and as well as me and Brian have hung out in person. So they're really really cool. And then I'll probably say Donald Miller has a great podcast about business. They just rebranded, and I can't remember what it's called now, but it used to be called the Story Brand Podcast or Building Your Story Brand or something like that. Now it's called something else. But they just like episode 1 just started this week as of podcast recording. So hop in on that. It's a really good one if you're, larger business view.
Yeah. Another good podcast is the Seth Godin blog / podcast. That dude is just a wealth of information. He has a very empathetic approach to marketing, which is extremely important when you're in a creative field.
And he uses his podcast uses a lot of like storytelling aspects. It's a lot of mindset behind why you're marketing and not so much the tactical, but more of the why you do what you do instead of what to do specifically.
Yeah.
Which I would argue is more important and keeps you in a really good headspace. Let's see. What's another great podcast? I feel like I've listened to a bunch of audio podcasts. Oh, I would honestly, for interviews, if you're into metal, URM does a great podcast with AL. He does a really good job, especially over the years as he's been interviewing. I wasn't a huge fan up front when he started doing most of the interviews, but he's gotten great at interviewing recently. I've listened to a couple episodes with some of the, like, I really enjoyed Dan Lancaster's episode that they did back when he was doing Nail the Mix. I really enjoy, there was a recent episode with Matt Halpern on, because Matt Halpern from Periphery, the drummer from Periphery, and he also co-owns Get Good Drums with Misha from Periphery. He's really big into like some fitness acumen things.
How are you just gonna leave Nolly out of there? It's literally named after him.
I know, but he's not in Periphery anymore.
Yeah, but he has a nice bald head.
That's true. And he's a very good mix engineer.
He's so good.
And drum engineer specifically. His drums are just wild. But they all run Get Good Drums, and he had a really good interview with Matt on there about, a bunch of different stuff. Let's see. Chocolate Croissants podcast is really good. It's run by a buddy of mine named Jordan and his brother Justin. They do a lot of business things. Jordan did a lot of work in the wrestling world. So he's He's done some cool things. He runs an Instagram live show also that he does on his Instagram. I've been on that before. It was really cool. Yeah. Those are all really fun. Trying to think, are there any other podcasts that I'm like really digging right now? Oh, Creative Pep Talk.
Oh yeah.
I'm always down for some creative pep talk. Andy's just inspiring to listen to. So
You're inspiring to listen to, bro.
meh. But yeah, Andy he goes by Angie J Pizza. I think he's Andy Miller. But he is he's a really knowledgeable person. It's really geared more towards illustrators. That's kind of like his market is illustration. But he talks a lot about mindset and business practices from a freelancing perspective, and it's in a different market. So it's a very cool way to see like that versus the home studio, six-figure home studio, and kind of what we talk about. If you kind of like put all three of those together, you'll kind of see a lot of similarities in what we're all kind of talking about.
Yeah.
It's just but all from very different perspectives, So it's a pretty cool little. Those are really good. Like I said, I'll link to all of those in the description of this YouTube video or on the website that we hopefully have up by this point.
Yes.
So now we move on to YouTube. The wide world of YouTube.
I have one.
Yeah, you have one.
Make pop music.
The homies that make pop music.
Yeah. Austin's great.
Shout out
All those
Clay
guys are
works.
great.
Clay does a lot of work for Austin too. Our buddy Clay. They both, but it's mainly Austin stuff. Austin on the YouTube channel, he does some great breakdowns that have given me a lot of inspiration for like when I kind of get stuck in a place or somebody asks for a style of track that either I've never attempted before or I'm not super familiar with. He does a lot of very cool breakdowns of tracks on how to make a track like
his Ariana
artist.
and Weekend videos are like
Yeah.
spot on.
He
Like,
did it
to a T. It's awesome.
His T Swift one was really good too. He did a really great Taylor Swift breakdown. But
Yeah, that did sound very much like a
it
Taylor
sounded
Swift
like
song.
a Taylor Swift song. It was really good. I really enjoyed the first Ariana Grande one. Not the one based off the new album, but the one based off of.
You mean it was actually a song that was released. I think it was by Lavender.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm trying to find it. I don't know how
But
to spell that.
He did a really good.
Yeah.
It's
This one.
Very. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
He
I
did
can
a
only play
very
clip, but
yeah. He did a very good job of kind of breaking down that style of track, and I would also shout out the Lauv style track that he has built. It's as a person who listens to a lot of Lauv and Troye Sivan.
I can't believe his name isn't Love.
Right. But a lot of Lauv and Troye Sivan, Austin killed that track. Did a great job. So I think that was Josh's only one. I have a lot more. Experience with the YouTube world, I guess, just from constantly searching stuff. So I'll shout out a couple really quick. We'll shout out Home Studio Corner. It's a great one, and I'll say Home Studio Corner and Recording Revolution. If you are new to recording, and I mean like very new to recording, like you have zero clue, between those two, and our channel or our podcast slash watching us on YouTube, between the three of us, you will get so much information that I don't even know. You're going to get information that you could not pay for. Like, it's just so much good information on the basics of recording and the basics of microphones, what they are, the basics of DAW stuff, the basics of like mindset about approaching clients. They're just, those two are really good. Graham Cochran's amazing at what he does with the recording revolution, and Joe Gilder's really great with they were very pivotal for me whenever I was starting out with recording. So got to shout those guys out because they were big influences on me. So want to send people their way. I would say it's not really YouTube, it is video. Creative Live has free videos. Some of the older stuff is really, really, really good. There's a bunch of really interesting things there. Tatro, if you're into more electronic style music and lo-fi music, Tatro's really great. He does a lot of beat breakdowns and sample packs and stuff like that. Andrew Huang is a god amongst men when it comes to sample-based music. I mean, that man, is just amazing. What he can do with anything.
You know what I think we should do? I think next week we should have an episode where we talk about our favorite paid resources for plugins, education, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think next week we'll probably go through like all of the, especially the things that we are like sold on that are no-brainer buys for us as far as education goes. Yes, I definitely think that would be a good one. Andrew Huang's YouTube channel, he does some paid stuff too, so that's a good segue. It's definitely a subscribe from everybody. Everybody should subscribe for that if you're wanting to, and honestly, if you just want to watch a dude just tear up some samples. It's just so mind-boggling how good he is. So yeah, and I can't really think of anything else.
Yo, should I buy a pocket operator right now?
Dude, you should, because I got one.
Yeah, which one did you get?
I got the sub. It's tight.
Yeah?
And I can like... It's super sick. The sampler is really cool. That's probably the one I'm going to buy next. Speaking of Andrew Wong sampling.
I think I'm going to get the PO33. I also want an OPZ really bad, but not right now.
You guys
can buy furniture and stuff like that.
Yeah. You guys can tell that this is off the dome because we are very ADD. ADD. So yeah, I can't think of any other YouTube.
What's up with these $600 Bluetooth speakers that they're selling?
I have no idea.
Okay, what up, TJ? TJ, Teenage Engineering. What are you doing? Do you see their $170 sweatshirt?
No.
Dude, it's some Kanye stuff. I love
Teenage Engineering? I love them so
I think they did it because everybody dude, we are so off topic. I don't even care right now.
Yeah.
But if you go on any Teenage Engineering video, everyone's like, oh, it's so expensive. It's just my massive keyboard does the exact same thing, except it's not in your pocket.
Yeah.
And so everybody likes to complain about that. But the thing is...
But it doesn't.
I think that they realized that everybody always calls them expensive. So they were like, why don't we release an $80 t-shirt and a $170 sweatshirt?
And basically just be like the supreme of audio gear.
Yeah, like why don't we just do that? And I'm here for it. If
Dude,
I was
I'm
making
here for
buku
it.
bucks, I would
Bro.
definitely buy that teenage engineering sweatshirt.
I'm down with it. I'm down
It's
with
mustard
that.
yellow, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think free resources wise. Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna do some free resources later on that I'm excited about. I'm gonna try to compile a list of everything that we've talked about and put it in like a little document. So if you want to save it, you can save that and always come back to it and not have to keep coming back to the video or whatever. But if you want to just come back to the video and say, hey, drop some comments.
Hi.
Hey. But yeah. And I actually think maybe we might do this. I've thought about doing some track breakdowns for free. And I know Josh could probably do some like track breakdowns of some stuff that he's worked on for free.
Oh yeah, it's already that's a part of the New Year's resolutions, baby.
Yeah, dude. Get that content out.
I'm already on it. Don't you worry.
Yeah. So I think that's all of it because otherwise we're going to start getting real rambly.
Yeah, I gotta go. I'm actually putting in my card information right now so I could buy this pocket operator and a case for it.
Bro, heck yeah.
I've been telling myself I'm gonna buy one for months, so
good
whatever.
talk, Josh. See you guys later.
Yes, I'm over 16 years old. Continue to delivery.
It's gonna fade out on you.
On that note,
inputting your...
have a nice day.
Yeah. See you guys. Bye. And that's it for another episode of the Home Studio Hangout. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your time and your attention. If you want all of the links that we talked about, all of those free resources that we discussed in today's episode, go find us on YouTube. It'll be under episode 7 of the Home Studio Hangout. And I will have all of the links to all of these free things in the description of that episode. I'm also going to try to build a document with all of the things that we talked about in it as well. So it's something that you can go back and reference all the time, and it's really easy to find. And one more thing before you go, if you could go to your Apple Podcasts or your podcast player of choice, and if they allow you to do reviews and leave reviews and ratings, please go give us a rating and a review. Let people know if you gain something from this, gain some knowledge, gain some insight. If we helped you out at all, please let us know. It would be a huge help. It helps new people find the podcast, and it helps us grow our cool little community that we are trying to build here. Once again, thank you so much for your attention, and keep on creating.